Welcome back to your class, and now we are looking at this question. So this question here says that Hui Min placed two similar plants, A and B, in two identical pots containing the same amount of blue color water. So basically all of these are similar plant, identical pots, same amount of water. All these things are basically the constant variable, something that remain constant. She made a 2 cm cut to the stem on plant A and 1 cm cut to the stem on plant B. So by looking at these food carrying tubes and water carrying tubes, we can clearly see that plant A and plant B 2 cm cut. 2 cm cut means that it removed the food carrying tube and also the what? The water carrying tube. Wow, this one is need to write down, okay? Very important. The food and water carrying tube both is removed. Means that all of these things cannot be transported across. Means they cannot transport across. B, 1 cm cut means that food carrying tube is being cut out at that part, but water still can be transported across the plants. Okay, I mean this is actually a very important thing that you should notice. When it's being cut off 2 cm means that water carrying tube and food carrying tube is disappeared. Now let's look at this. A day later, she noticed that flower A remained as white, but flower B has turned to blue. Explain why A remained white. I think it's kind of very obvious here, right? You see, this water is blue color water. This water is also blue color water. This one, water can be transported across, but water in plant A cannot. It will go up to here only. I think that is the reason that why it remains as white, because the blue color water cannot be transported across. So you can explain saying that the water carrying tube at A will remove. Again, they use the word explain, so you can just start, oh, it's remove. You must explain, okay? So the blue color water absorbed by the roots, okay, these are the keywords, would not be transported to the flower. Again, they use the word explain, so you don't say, oh, it's because it is being removed. You must explain. Remove. That's why the water absorbed by the roots could not be transported to the flower. Okay, so now let's move on to B. Hui Min also found that the stems below the cut section of the stems below the cut section of A and B shrivel after a few days. Means that at the lower part here, it become shrivel, become a bit smaller, not that nice. Why? Because very obvious, right? Because the food produced are not able to reach down part. That's why it's shrivel. So you must explain what? Again, use the word explain also again. So you must explain as the food carrying tube on both plants were cut off, food made by the leaf could not, again, must explain, could not be transported to the other parts of the plant that is below the cut section. Okay, so simple, clear. And next, C, suggest a control setup. So basically, control setup is something that you are able to compare and it's a bit more fair when you compare. Okay, so now again, I have one that is without both. I have one that is without water, without food. Then it will be the best. Actually, I have another one, a similar setup, which is mean the same plant, the same water, all these things. A similar setup that's with no cuts. Means that it's a normal plant. Okay, with no cuts on the plant. Because then I can compare like, oh, does it affect without food and the one with food and water, does it have any difference? All these things. Okay, so that is the best to actually have similar setup that's with no cuts on the plant. Okay, I think that is actually good and clear and simple, and I hope you learned something from this video. Thank you. See you. Bye bye.